Welcome to the show, everybody. A sort of red alert moment. Dozens and dozens of you emailing me over the last 48 hours saying, David, you have to talk about the election offices around the country that are increasingly filled with pro-Trump election deniers who, if given the opportunity to mess with the election in November, will do so. And could this explain Trump's confidence despite cratering polls, as well as his recent comment that you're not going to need to vote again as long as you vote for me this time? Rachel Maddow on MSNBC covering this. Exclusive reporting from Rolling Stone finds that there are dozens of swing state election officials who are pro-Trump election deniers. Now, understand that we are talking not like the Secretary of State of Georgia necessarily. We're talking about when you look at the thousands of local election officials at the county, precinct, et cetera level, municipality in some cases. These are the individuals who will be tasked with certifying election results in their respective jurisdictions. Typically, these are counties. And if you look, as the Rolling Stone report explains in great detail, and we'll link to the story, if you look at swing states, critical battleground states like Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, North Carolina, yes, although less likely to be a battleground state, although maybe not, we'll look at new polling, Pennsylvania. Rolling Stone has identified, working with its partners, at least 70 pro-Trump election conspiracists who believe that Trump really won 2020, or who believe that it should have been sent back or rejected or whatever. They are currently working as county election officials. They've questioned the validity of elections. They've delayed or refused to certify results at some point in the last nearly 4 years. At least 22 of the 70 straight up refused certifications of elections in recent years. There's a quote from Democratic election lawyer Mark Elias, who we're going to try to get on the program to talk about this and discuss exactly what's going on and what can be done. He says, quote, I think we are going to see mass refusals to certify the election. Everything we are seeing about this election is that the other side is more organized, more ruthless, and more prepared. So the immediate and obvious question to those who call it quaint, called me old-fashioned, my friends. I think the candidate that wins the election should get to be the president of the United States. I know it's a crazy notion, apparently, in 2024. So there are two ways to answer the question, what can we do? On the one hand, we will and we should do everything possible to prevent these people from pulling it off. It also is the case, it might be that the only way to stop these people is to vote in numbers so massive that any attempt to overturn these results will be meaningless. And what I mean by that is that sometimes the only way to ensure that this doesn't become an election-denying conspiratorial mess, and I don't mean conspiratorial in fake conspiracy theories, I mean that they are able to conspire to steal the election the way they tried to do in 2020. The only way we might be able to do it is by showing up with everyone voting in numbers so overwhelming that messing around at the margins with some counties is simply not going to be enough. Now, that's not super auspicious as an explanation of what to do. We would be far better served if we had an absence of these hardcore pro-Trump MAGA election denying lunatics in positions of power in counties. But on the other hand, I don't want to dismiss the importance of 70 counties that we know of. There may be more, right? Some of these individuals may be quieter and we just don't know their views and they're in positions of power in certain counties. But at the end of the day, 70 counties, if they were exactly the right counties, could they flip a state? Yes, it's possible. It's possible. We have to hope that concurrent with doing everything that can be done legally to restrict the ability of these individuals to flip results unfairly, if we just overwhelm the vote in record numbers, it probably won't even be able to make a difference because those counties won't be enough to flip the results. Now, neither of these is very satisfying, right? Because as I say, on the one hand, we need to try to prevent these people from being in this position in the first place. How do we do it? I don't know. And that's why hopefully we'll speak to Attorney Mark Elias and he will tell us. But it's not super satisfying for me to say, let's try to get them out of power. What? How? What do we do? I'm not sure. On the other hand, it's also not super satisfying or optimistic to say, well, they'll probably be able to end up in a position to try to get away with it. But what we could do is just like vote in huge numbers, because every time we say, every single election we say, if we only had record turnout, none of this stuff would matter. And we don't always have record turnout. So I understand that neither side of this is particularly optimistic. They are the options we have. Overwhelm the vote and also do everything we can legally to limit the power of these individuals to try to steal counties. But that's what's going on. Rolling Stone is reporting on it. Rachel Maddow is talking about it. We have to keep talking about it, and we'll try to get Mark Elias on the show. I've been tracking my family tree for a long time now, and the service I've always relied on is MyHeritage, which I started using long before they became a sponsor. Trusted by over 90 million users, MyHeritage makes it easy and fun to build your family tree with a range of powerful genealogy tools at your fingertips. One of my favorite features lets you quickly find new family members and add entire new branches to your tree. It's always a good time to sit down with my family, show them what I found. For example, the other day, I found a scan of an immigration document from when my mother's uncle's aunt arrived at Ellis Island, or this document from the US-Canada border for my relative who was born in 1895. This is remarkable stuff and really interesting artifacts that are part of the puzzle of my family's past. MyHeritage gives you access to over 19 billion records like this, making it easier than ever for you to uncover amazing new pieces of your family's history. You can try MyHeritage completely free for 14 days when you go to davidpakman.com/myheritage. The link is in the description.